This is why you wait till the end of the movie. This is why you watch games all the way through. This is why you don't make TikToks at halftime saying the game is over, trying to just get ahead of the curve so that you can go to bed at a normal hour for once in your life. This is why you don't record videos at halftime, 10-minute quality videos ready to be shipped off, apologizing about your horrific take about Alabama just a couple days ago, just so that you can get the video out and sleep well tonight. Instead, you finish out the game, you get a little anxious while actually recording that video because you know Georgia's making a couple plays, but they're not going to come back, right? They're not going to end up taking the lead, right? They're not going to end up making absolute cinema of a football game. I could show you highlight after highlight, but I think I would just rather let you enjoy that on your own. Watching Ryan Williams absolutely cook. It breaks my heart as a Texas A&M fan knowing that through the transition from Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer, there was potential that he was going to follow the wide receiver coach that was recruiting him at Alabama that ended up going to Texas A&M, and he stayed at Alabama, and probably for good reason. Let's talk about this game because I basically have to rewrite all my thoughts. If you did not get what I was inferring to at the beginning of the video, I made a YouTube video. It is actually privated on my channel talking about how Georgia absolutely failed and sucked against Alabama and how their scope of their entire season has changed. Not saying they're not going to make the 12-team playoff, but what we think of them as just a team this year has completely changed because of how dominant Alabama was from the first drive to the fourth drive. They scored touchdown, 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 and Carson Beck was horrific. Carson Beck somehow, some way, lost $1 million and got $1 million back because the dude was god awful. And I think this is the best teaching tape for him when we're talking about an NFL scout watching him and evaluating him. You got to see the highs and lows. The arm talent was there in the second half. Georgia, storms their way back after clawing, and it truly did feel like Alabama just kept giving them opportunities because the Georgia defense, once they settled in, though it being a 28-0 lead, once they settled in, things seemed to get a little bit easier for Georgia. Problem being, their offense was horrific for about 75% of this game. And it seems like Carson Beck just decided, I'm just going to throw it deep and we're going to see if a playmaker makes a play. And they got right back into this game because Georgia playmakers made plays. And it's funny enough to finish the game that's what ended up costing them was just a one-on-one prayer to potentially take the game into overtime, most likely, because it would have been a tied ball game. You never know what could happen in the short amount of time. But that's the story. Carson Beck gets his, I believe, third pick of the night, fourth total turnover. I believe he also had a fumble that was pretty bad. And I mean, what I mean by losing $1 million and getting it back is everyone wrote him off, and then somehow he comes crawling back, showing some incredible plays. It was like he was a completely new quarterback from one drive to another. It was absolutely insane to watch. And a lot of the things I talked about when talking about Georgia overall has shifted a little bit. I mean, I got to give him credit for clawing back, and I got to give credit to Kirby Smart's visor for hanging on to a damn thread of his hair because it seemed like as the game progressed and got more and more crazier, so did the angle that his visor got. Just in absolute insanity. I know that's probably not what matters tonight, but I also have to say this. I apologize to Alabama. I just do. No way around it. The point of the video before was honestly kind of sad because I was just straight up saying I was wrong, man. I was just outright wrong about Alabama. And it didn't make sense to me in hindsight because I have Jalen Milroe as my Heisman winner, not just today, but like going into the season, I had Jalen Milroe as my Heisman winner, and I didn't go with Alabama in like a big moment for him to take his claim. And that's what he did. Now we're in a 3-man race with Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, and Jalen Milroe, which will get its own video later this week. Alabama came to play. And I got to give them credit. They definitely let their foot off the gas. It felt like if they did not get to that 28-0 lead, how close this game was going to be from quarter one to quarter four. Just because, either they left their foot off the gas and that is why, or Georgia more settled in. I got to give Jalen Milroe credit. When they needed him the most, he stepped up and made a Heisman level play. That's just point blank, period. And I say that, and in the back of my mind, I said the thing about the 3 players for the Heisman. I also have to shout out Cam Ward. He's in there. It wasn't a pretty game from him against Virginia Tech. I don't mean to pivot completely, but I got to shout him out too because he did end up making plays. But Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams, Ryan Williams, man, I got to give him credit. I got to give that defense credit. Jahad Campbell absolutely read Carson Beck like a book. Jeez, I'm getting the B words mixed up, but cinema. That's all I can think of when talking about this game. Yes, you can clown me for the Georgia's going to dominate this game. Clown me for that. I deserve it. I just do. If you did not see that video, just go 2 days ago. If you want to go laugh, it's a pretty funny video. I still think my logic was pretty sound in saying that Alabama was going to be able to have to be decisive when we're talking about the short passing game, and they were, and then they were able to take the top off the defense. So I was wrong. I was wrong in that take, but this game was absolute cinema. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear your reactions. I know I got some Georgia and Alabama fans looking at the channel right now. By the way, we got a bunch of new people here, so thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk football with you. It means the world to me, genuinely. That's all I'll ever ask from you is just give me another opportunity to talk football with you. It's a late night, man. I thought I would have a lot more energy, but I got to edit this. I got to get it out, and then I will see you guys tomorrow because I think I'm going to do that Heisman video. So I got to get moving, got to get some sleep. So let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys next time.